The mystery man. The mystery man. Today, we are going to be talking about Rocco, Rob's Rob Reiner's alleged assistant. So we're going to be showing some footage that perhaps you haven't seen before, and I'm going to share some of my thoughts. You guys have to make sure you're sitting down for this one. I'm telling you, this is going to blow your socks off. But I got to set it up. So if you're watching this while we're doing this premiere, as there are a lot of people on my channel that enjoy the idea of watching a premiere or a live show because there's no ads, there's no commercials, nothing like that. We just get right to it. So if you are just showing up at this channel and you're like, what's this all about and all this kind of stuff, I usually spend the first 5 or 10 minutes recapping what we talked about. So if you're like, I've seen all these videos that Shane has made, I've watched the entire series, um, then what you need to do is just skip ahead 5 or 10 minutes. And once you see the video clips show up on my screen, you'll know that's where I actually start with the footage showing Rocco. But for those of you that don't mind a little bit of a recap, it's been 2 weeks, basically exactly 2 weeks since I first started down this rabbit hole. In case you're wondering what I'm drinking, today I am drinking Starbucks, a Starbucks caramel blend, which is a light note of caramel flavor in a Keurig. So every once in a while, I like the Keurig because you can get a little bit more coffee out of it, which I need this morning. But I also have an espresso, and every time I have an espresso, it actually feels like I'm in a cafe, and I love that. I love that. So where are we? 2 weeks ago, I started talking about the idea of presuming that Nick Reiner is innocent until proven guilty, and you guys went nuts. So, like a lot of people are like, Shane, you can't say that he's innocent. He's guilty. And I'm like, you're doing the very same thing. You're doing the very same thing. All I'm doing is I'm actually lining it up with what the laws of the land are, which means you are presumed innocent until you are shown to be guilty without a shadow of a doubt. So the burden is on the prosecution. And every time I say, look, folks, there is a chance, a small one, granted, even if it's 1% or 5% or 10%, there is a chance that Nick may be not guilty, and not for the reasons that you think. You're leaning you're leaning to the idea that Nick will be not guilty by reason of insanity. That's the direction that you're going on because you've watched videos from TMZ and you treat TMZ as your main source. So, what is my main source? These right here, my eyeballs, my lying eyeballs, because that's what people will tell you. They'll say things like, Shane, your eyes are lying to you. You can't trust your eyes. Instead, you have to trust media organizations like TMZ that say sources of sources of sources say, and then you take that as gospel. But yet, I could show you stuff that's right in front of your very eyes, and you're like, I can't believe it. I don't want to look. I don't want to look. It kind of reminds me of when I was a little kid and I had discovered that Santa Claus was real, I should have gave you guys a spoiler alert. Sorry, I discovered that Santa Claus wasn't real, and I was about 6 years old or something like that. So I think I was looking at some pipes going into the house, and I'm like, "This is where Santa Claus is coming down?" So if you're watching this show and you still believe in Santa Claus, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I was about 6 or 7 years old, and, I had a little brother. His name is Dustin, so if you're watching the show, Dustin, you know where I'm going with this. I grabbed my brother Dustin by the shoulders, I drug him into the kitchen, and I said, "Look at them! Look at them!" And my mom and my dad were wrapping Christmas presents in the kitchen, our presents. And I was trying to show my brother by holding his chin and making him look at my mom and dad. And then I said, "Santa Claus is not real." And I shattered his life. I shattered his life. I don't know if he ever bounced back from that. So, brother, heart to heart, I am sorry for doing that to you. But this is what happens on my show when I show you footage. And you're like, I, I, I don't, I don't want the red pill. I want the blue pill. Dorothy, you're like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. There's no place like home when you start clicking your heels together because you don't want to see it. And people will get mad and they'll say, "Why aren't you just reading the Bible? Why aren't you just talking about the Bible and all this kind of stuff?" And I will continue to do that when I feel prompted to do it. And if you're new to my channel, you got to understand I have over 1,000 videos on the Bible. I go from the beginning to the end. In the last 4 years, I've read the entire Bible 25 times, cover to cover. And that's still not good enough for some of these people. They'll say things like, "You're bragging about how many times you read the Bible now." And it's like, dude, like, you just gotta check yourself in the mirror. This is a Black Swan community channel, meaning we look under every stone, and anytime there's something that pops up that to me is like a Black Swan event, as in it's highly improbable, it's it changes the way business is conducted literally the next day, and then it gets explained away. That's those are the events that I look at on this channel. And I think my next Bible study is going to be on the book of Jeremiah. So if you just wait patiently while I get through this, I'm going to go verse by verse, and it might take a little while to do that. But be patient on that part because, again, I've looked at the Donald Trump assassination attempt. I've talked about the elections. Like, my audience is mostly American. Mostly American. I think it's about 70-30. And my audience, I believe, is almost 50-50 when it comes to women and men. Might be 60-40 men somewhere. It's very close, though. It's very close. So, but I think most of my audience is sophisticated to the point where they don't like to be snowed, as in they don't like to be told a false narrative. And all I'm doing is I'm looking at footage and then I'm sharing my thoughts. I'm going, "This is weird. This is kind of bizarro." And then I share the timeline and I share the dates and I put it all together for you so that you don't have to do all the digging. You can, because I'll let you know where I got these videos from. You can go do your own homework. And I've asked people, I've said, if you don't mind, if you see something that I've talked about on this channel and you're like, I have another video that you can look at on YouTube. Send me the link to Black Swan Diary 2022, and then I can have a look at it. Specifically, this week, we're talking about Rocco, the mystery man. So if you can find any extra footage of this guy, please send it my way. All right, let's jump into this. Let us jump into it. So I showed this clip the other day, but I think it's important to show it again because it's only like a minute. So this is the scene of the crime. This area is Rob Reiner's home. Rob Reiner's home. So this guy, Rocco, shows up seemingly out of nowhere because this was recorded on December 15th. And if you like dates, that's the next day after the bodies were found. After Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner, their bodies were found. Sunday night, a press conference was released by the LAPD at about 9:30 p.m. LA time Sunday night. They said, we don't have anyone that is under arrest. We don't have any suspects. And we don't have a search warrant to go back into the home. So whatever 99% of the media sources are telling you that Nick Reiner murdered his parents, that he got a hotel on Sunday, that he was arrested Sunday night, you got to throw that out the window. Because that didn't happen Sunday night. It happened Monday night. I know because I was watching the press conference that the LAPD did on Monday night. That's when I started watching because Monday night is when they announced the arrest of Nick Reiner. So in case you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm trying to set the narrative that nothing happened Sunday. Rocco Bono here didn't show up Sunday. He showed up Monday. And so let's just watch this video.
I think Romy and her roommate Sid had let somebody know that we were going to be coming here, but
how many people are there?
It's me. Well, my assistant Missy was also trying to get here before she left, but she had just said that they were going to let somebody know that I was going to come.
Okay, you're the assistant.
I'm the assistant. Like everybody else. No, I don't know if I can be any assistance or help with anything with the house, access to anything.
So at this point, no. But it's okay. So I'll talk with some of the family members. Right now, I think they have family members. They have the number. They can get in contact.
Yeah, I was trying. Is it possible to just at least let Romy and Jake know that I'm here in case they need anything?
I don't have a way to talk to them right now, but once they are before, I can talk.
Please, if you could, my name is Rocco. If you could just let them know that I'm around. Okay. We have friends in the neighborhood, and I'm just going to be here in case somebody needs anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rocco, can we ask you a question?
Not right now.
Okay, so I showed this the other day, but now we're going to break this down, and then I'm going to show you new footage. New footage of Rocco that perhaps you haven't seen before. But the reason why I showed this video, one, it's because I'm documenting this stuff, because one day this stuff could be taken away from us and then we can't see it. We can't go back and review it. So that's the reason why I wanted to play it in its entirety. So you have this guy, Rocco, that shows up, says, I am the assistant. He didn't say he's Rob's assistant, but it could be inferred because he said, if you need access to the house, to any of the items in the house, I can help you out. I can help you out. And then the police are like, well, what did you hear? Which is interesting because, again, if you go back in time, nobody knew what the heck was going on Sunday. Instead, there were rumors going around, and I think the source close to the family that TMZ is using is this guy right here, Rocco. I think it was this guy. Because the people around him were asking him, how did you hear? Because that's the buzz with all the media. They're like, we want to get sources close to the family so that we know what's going on. Rocco just said, if you could let the family know, my assistant is here as well. We're around, and we need to let them know that we're here. And it's like, well, don't you have a phone? Like, can't you? Like, what were you doing Sunday night that you couldn't be in contact once you knew your employer was deceased and you couldn't get a hold of them? Why didn't you call Romy then? And you notice this is Monday night allegedly before the press conference by the LAPD. Maybe it was after the press conference, which is possible. But notice that Rocco says, I'm here to see, could you please let Jake and Romy know that I'm here? Not Nick, which is interesting. Because Nick hadn't been arrested till Monday night. And this was uploaded Monday night. So it is possible that after the press conference, if it is after the press conference, just think about this. The LAPD said they don't have any suspects. So if this is after the press conference, why would Rocco say, please let Jake and Romy know? How would he know that Nick has been arrested? Again, sorry, I'm jumping to Sunday night because the LAPD made a press conference Sunday night. So if this is Monday night, then it would make more sense that this guy would say, please let Jake and Romy know that I'm here. But if that's the case, that's more than 24 hours later after the murder, and arguably 48 hours after Conan O'Brien's party, that this guy Rocco shows up. So it's kind of weird. And the police are asking him, what did you hear? Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to squash false reports. They're trying to squash it. So again, if you watch this footage, let's go back to the beginning.
I think Romy and her roommate Sid had let somebody know that we were going to be coming here, but
How many people are there?
it's me.
I think Romy and her roommate Sid had let somebody, it's not Sid, it's what's the guy's name? I think it's Alex. That's her boyfriend, who's also a photographer. Maybe Sid. Romy and her roommate said says Sid. Sid, I've never heard the name Sid before. So that's interesting. I'll have to look into that. I'm pretty sure Romy's roommate was Alex, which is allegedly her boyfriend because he takes a lot of her pictures and all kinds of stuff. And they've been seen together. And they live across the street. I think Romy and her roommate Sid had let somebody know. So that's why I say it could be said
that we were going to be coming here.
that we were going to be coming here.
But
How many people are
But
it's me. Well, my sister
and then the officer says, "How many people are there?" And he says, "Well, it's me
Missy was
and my assistant Missy," which is okay. He's got an assistant. So this assistant has an assistant. My assistant Missy was
also trying to get here before
also trying to get here before
she left. But
she left. Like it's just this guy is kind of spinning a little bit. Again, my spider senses started tingling the second this guy showed up. And I'm telling you, right out of the gate, I was like, this guy is guilty of something. I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, because all the media is leaning on Nick saying he's guilty. That's what I felt like doing with this guy, going, you're guilty of something. I don't want to say you murdered Nick yourself, but you're suspicious. There's something off with you, bro. Your energy, something is weird. So the officer's asking him, who else is with you? And he's just starting, yeah, my assistant and all this, and trying to get here before she left. Like he's mumbling.
she had just said that they were going to let somebody know that I was going to come.
okay? You're the assistant.
She just let someone know that someone said that I was going to come. Okay, you're the assistant.
I'm the assistant.
I'm the assistant. Doesn't say Rob exactly, but he's the assistant. And he noticed the camera here. So this journalist is curious now as to who this Rocco guy is. Because notice she'll turn on her camera and she'll start filming him. And then this other journalist, which I think is from Page 6 Media. And I'll show you a different angle that kind of lines the stuff a bit. So see the girl on the left, the lady on the left? She's filming now, Rocco, because he says, I'm the assistant. And she asked him, how did you know? Like, how did you hear? Because the media doesn't know what's going on, but Rocco does. And he said Jake and Romy. He didn't say Nick. So he knows something as well. He's an insider. He's someone close. He's a source close to the family. So whenever TMZ says a source close to the family said, you can almost say this guy was a source close to the family because he seems to know about what's going on inside the house. And he's telling the police, look, man, I can hook you up. I can allow you into the house because I got the codes. And if you need anything, I can help you. But this is also a crime scene. So not just anybody can get in unless the police allow people to come in. How did you find out? So I believe this lady is from Page 6.
Like everybody else.
And he's like everyone else. That's kind of shady to me. Because the like everyone else is they don't know. They're in the dark. The entire media is in the dark right now. They're trying to figure this out. Because if they're asking him how he found out, it would be kind of weird to say that after the press conference that the LAPD said we have no suspects. So this feels like this is before the Monday night arrest of Nick Reiner. If it is before that press conference, then that means Rocco knew something about Nick, about maybe perhaps framing him. Don't know. But it's weird that he mentioned Romy and Jake only. And the reporters are trying to figure out, how did you find out? And Rocco says, like everyone else. everybody else. That's weird. It's a weird thing to say because that means he was at home watching TV on Sunday and he found out Sunday night that his boss was murdered and he didn't try and get a hold of the family. That's weird. It's weird. And if you're Rob's assistant and the only way that you find out is through TV, I mean, how close are you to Rob Reiner? Really? Did you hear? And Rocco just ignores this person. He just ignores her. And so now the second officer comes in to ask him, what do you know? This is a crime scene, folks.
No, I don't know if I can be any assistance or help.
He's like, did you hear anything? Because they're trying to keep this under wraps, folks. It's a crime scene. They don't want people like TMZ and all these other news outlets to know what's going on before they do. And now he's asking, what do you know? That's a weird thing for an officer to say, unless they're worried that people are going to tamper with the evidence and say crazy things and all this stuff. He has no idea who this person is. He could be Crazy Joe Rocco. Don't know. But these reporters don't know who this guy is. Isn't that interesting? Page 6 has covered celebrities for years. TMZ has. Nobody knows who this guy is. They're not like, hey, Rocco. Hey, pal. They don't do that till like the next day.
Help with anything with the house access.
I could be of assistance or help with anything with the house access. So now you're the prime suspect because you have access to the codes. You have access to the home. And remember, we're going to talk about this later, but this guy has a weird limp. I don't know if it's an injury that he sustained wrestling with Rob and Michelle. Maybe they had an altercation. Maybe he was going to let Rocco go. Don't know. I'm actually reaching here, folks. I am. I'm reaching. But this guy is weird.
Anything?
So at this point, no. Like, because he's like, do you need access to anything? It's like, no. Not if they don't have a search warrant. They can't get in the house. And Rocco's saying, I can let you in. And this officer is speaking really soft. I hate that stuff. It's just like a whisper because he knows the camera's there. He's just whispering.
Right now, I think they have family members.
Right now, I think they have family members. So Tracy, Nick, Jake, Romy are all aware of the situation. They have their number, which is kind of a weird thing for the officer to say. Maybe he said, do they have your number?
Yeah, I was trying. Is it possible?
Yeah, I was trying. So he doesn't answer. So if he said, do they have your number, which to me is the most logical thing for them to say, for the officers to say, the family's okay. Do they have your number? And he's like, yeah, I was trying to. Is it possible to just at least
Let Romy and Jake know that I'm here in case they need anything?
Is it possible to let Romy and Jake know? Because I'm an outsider. I have no way of contacting them to let them know that I could be of assistance, to let them in, to let you guys in to the most important crime scene in America. I can help you guys. That is just, it's bizarre world. I don't know what we're talking right now. Again, the closed caption could be off.
Please.
I don't know if they're talking right now, is what he's saying. But once they are, and Rocco goes, please.
My name is Rocco. If you could just let them know that I'm around.
My name is Rocco. If you can let them know that I'm around. It's weird that the family wouldn't say, look, my father's assistant, close assistant, a beloved of our family, is going to be grieving. He's coming here. Could you please let him in? They didn't say anything about Rocco. Zero. This is important. The family's not letting this guy in right away. And the LAPD are like, I think they're good. But do they have your number? And he's like, please, my name is Rocco. If you can let them know that I'm around. Maybe he got fired. And maybe he's just kind of like, you know what? I'm still here to help you guys. Don't know.
We have friends in the neighborhood, and I'm just going to be.
We have friends in the neighborhood. We have connections. And I'm just going to be
here in case somebody needs anything. Okay.
here. I'm going to be here in case anybody needs anything. The officer's like, okay. Notice how these 3 reporters are filming Rocco. Again, they don't know who this guy is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rocco.
And then he walks away. And then this lady that's filming says, Rocco,
Can we ask you a question?
Not right now.
can we ask you a question? He's like, not right now. And he walks away. One thing you have to notice this guy has no security around him today. That could change tomorrow, as in the next footage that we're about to see. But this is important now. Watch him limp away. Weird, right? Okay. So we're all caught up. We're at the 31-minute mark. We're all caught up with what you've already seen. I showed this the other day. And now I am going to show you. I'm going to show you another clip that you haven't seen, most likely. And this is where you're going to have to make sure you're sitting down. All right. So this is the Pierside Hotel of where Nick checked in. Notice the date that this was uploaded, which was December 17th, which the murder took place allegedly December 14th. And then you have the arrest Monday night, which is December 15th. 16th, Nick was booked. The 17th, this organization went out to Pierside Hotel and filmed on the 17th the location of where Nick had checked in to a hotel. And of course, Nick was already processed, arrested, booked into the Twin Towers facility. So I'm just showing you guys because it's important to show you timelines. Notice the security that they have out there now, which is interesting. I don't know if they had security the day of when Nick checked in on Monday morning. I don't know. I'm kind of assuming they did, but it does look like the security has been beefed up here. So again, this is the hotel that Nick checked in. And coincidentally, this summer in August, or last summer, I should say, we were just outside of this hotel walking by. We went to Santa Monica Beach. We're looking around, went to the pier, had lunch, all kinds of stuff. We're hanging out. We went to Hollywood, looked around there, and then we went to an LA game. That was in the summer. So it's kind of interesting that we were close by this area. So it kind of looks like the main check-in place is through the front. So I'm going to go on a leap. I'm going to assume that they have surveillance cameras of Nick checking into this hotel, and they can date stamp it. I haven't seen any of that footage yet, but I think it's safe to say that there are security cameras all around this area. Yeah, I was literally right there. See where that sign is? I was right there. I had no idea that 1 block away, like I was literally right there on that corner We probably walked by this hotel for all I know. So crazy. Yep, that's exactly it. That was the place that we were at. We were right there on that corner in August. Bizarre. All I had to do is just turn my head around and look backwards, and I would have saw the hotel. So I do this just to give you a reference of where this is, because this is probably one of the most touristy places. Everybody goes to this beach. All right, so let's go to this next footage here. So I'm going to skip past this, but this is the first day that Nick was in court. This is December 17th as well. Okay, this is the good stuff now. So let's go. This is when the Rob Reiner police investigation team seen with forensic photographer show up. Okay, so when was this uploaded? This was uploaded December 16th. So this is starting to fall in line with my dates now. This wasn't recorded Sunday night, folks. This was Tuesday morning, because Monday night all the media outlets got wind that Nick Reiner was arrested, and they were actually gathering all day Monday to wait for the press conference, wait for an announcement by the LAPD police to know, hey, we arrested someone. So this is the day after Nick was booked. Nick was arrested Monday night. This is now Tuesday. This is Tuesday that this was uploaded. And the investigation team seen with the forensic photographer. Now, this guy is from the LAPD, so he's with the police department. And this is important because these are the guys that are coming to have a look at everything. Taking pictures of the scene of the crime. Notice that he's doing it right here because they just showed up. And I want you to keep an eye on this guy with the black sweater and the gray pants or beige pants. I want you to keep an eye on this guy because we're going to be talking about this guy, or we're going to talk about this organization. There he is. Mystery man Rocco shows up with the forensics team. This is so important, guys. I'm telling you, once your head gets wrapped around this, you're going to be like, what the F-bomb is Rocco doing with the LA forensic team? Why is he there? And why is he the only one wearing gloves? Is it perhaps, and he's got a hoodie. Remember this. Kind of looks like Nick, if I'm being honest here. He kind of looks like Nick a little bit. If you watch the camera footage at 12:30 at night, this guy's walking. He has a black hoodie on. Kind of looks like this guy, because I wasn't 100% sure that was Nick walking around at about 12:30 at night on Sunday. I wasn't sure. Monday night's footage looks a little bit more clear. He has a green striped shirt. He's inside the store. He gets arrested an hour later outside the store. And this guy is wearing gloves to the scene of the crime, and he's the only one. The forensic team isn't doing this. So then my spidey senses start tingling. I sure hope that you're not gathering the bed sheets from the hotel, folding them up nicely and putting them into bags, and wearing gloves because you don't want to put fingerprints on the bed sheets and the curtains. And I sure hope that you're not going to be caught carrying blinders to the hotel so that you can put blinders up over the curtains so that you could start spreading the bed sheets, the bloody bed sheets, the bloody footprints, and blood in the bathtub. I sure hope that's not why you're here at this scene. Again, you guys might be going, Shane, you're reaching. Rocco is innocent until proven guilty. Well, again, this almost makes me cuss. It gets me so mad. Why in the F-bomb is this guy here with gloves on and the forensic team doesn't have gloves on? What are you up to, you shady bugger? Oh, and there's his assistant, Missy. Right there. Culprit 2, I would say. Suspect 2. And these guys are letting this couple walk with them into the crime scene.
Thank you.
Forensic guy leaves. Interesting that he stops taking pictures while Rocco and Missy gather the evidence. I call it tampering, but you can decide what you want. Okay, so let's go to the next clip here. This is another angle of these guys showing up. Again, let's go to the timestamp. This is December 16th. This is 2 days after the murder. So this is not Sunday. This is not Monday. This is Tuesday, which makes more sense to me because Rob has been booked into the Nick has been booked into the Twin Towers Correction Facility. So pay attention to these guys here. The guy on the right, not the suit guys, but this company on the right. This is a security company, and we're going to be looking at their website account because these guys are hanging around Rocco and their security, and they're good at protecting homes, getting you in and out of homes safely. That's their job. And these are the people that are hanging out with Rocco. So my question is, where were you guys on Sunday? Why are you protecting Rocco, but you're not protecting Rob and Michelle Reiner? Just put that on the shelf. These guys are walking to the scene of the crime as well. Forensic unit. There's the company L4s, Lion 4s, 4 lions. You can look that up. We're gonna look up this company because they're hard to find. Once you find it, you can't unsee it. We're gonna look it up. So just remember that L4s. I couldn't figure out what the logo was on the hat, but it's actually a lion. So their name is the 4 Lions. It's interesting when you talk about the Book of Revelation and all kinds of crazy stuff, right? Like I've dove into imagery with Daniel, the Book of Daniel, and all this, and the 4 creatures and all this kind of stuff. This security company is called the 4 Lions, and they're hanging out with Rocco and his assistant Missy, and nobody else is talking about this stuff. No Rocco, just Missy, which makes me wonder, what the heck is Rocco doing inside Rob Reiner's home with gloves on? Is he gathering evidence? So kind of looks like they're escorting her off the premises, as in following her. Also, the way the forensic photographer of the LAPD is holding his camera almost like he's had a busy day. because it's on a tripod. And I've actually been hired from time to time as a photographer as well. I had to go to all the clubs downtown Calgary. I was hired as a photographer, and I know after taking thousands of pictures, you get exhausted. You get exhausted. So him using the tripod tells me that he was photographing the evidence at the scene of the crime. So he's got everything in his camera. It kind of looks like they're done for the day, but there's no Rocco. No Rocco. Weird, right? Again, there's a security detail keeping an eye on Rocco, because I think Rocco hired these guys, or the Reiner family. Don't know, but these guys are definitely working for Rocco. No question about it. Again, Rocco and Missy get total access to the house. Weird, right? Gotta ask yourself, why are they allowed to tamper with the crime scene? You might be saying, Shane, you're reaching saying they're tampering with the crime scene. Wait, it gets better. Oh, they're actually going to the crime scene. They're actually going into the Reiner house. And no Rocco. Remember, we saw Rocco with Missy? So this is another timestamp of most likely later. So she was just escorted back to maybe her vehicle. Don't know. But now she's coming back by herself. Rocco's inside by himself. The forensics team is outside. Rocco's inside. So they're going back into the house. How do we know? There's the gate. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what I'm looking at here, but I don't want to say that gate looks like it was forced open. But that looks like a kind of a weird notch. It almost looks like a scraping notch on the gate, which just tells me the gate just opens and closes. That's where it's digitally locked. You need a code to get in there. And Rocco already said, we caught him on camera saying he has the codes. So now I'm assuming Rocco's inside, because Missy doesn't usually go anywhere without him, especially here. And we're going to see footage of them coming out of the crime scene. So Missy was just being escorted back to the house. So I'm leaning on that this could have happened maybe once or twice, where she leaves the house and then she comes back. As far as I know, it's only one time that she left the house, but we don't see her leaving. We see her coming back a second time without Rocco, which tells me Rocco's inside still by himself. No photographers around. There's the gate. So that's it. That's the gate. That's the home. That's the residence of the Reiner family. Okay, so let's go to the next footage. So now this is the security team leading Shady Missy. Look at the bag she's carrying. She's got evidence from the crime scene she's bringing. And I'm going to suggest to you, and I'm reaching, that they're bringing it to the hotel to tamper with the hotel, to contaminate the hotel with the bloody bed sheets. They're going to put a blind up. They're going to put blood in the tub, all over the carpet, whatever it is. These guys are suspect. Number one, it's Missy. Don't believe me? Look what's it. And look, they're the only ones with gloves, folks. make this full screen a little bit. So again, the date is December 16th. This is 2 days after the murder. And they have gloves on. Why does Missy have gloves and a bag? Why does Rocco have gloves and a bag?
Hey, Rocco.
And look at the blind. Remember? They were telling us that there were blinds over the curtains. And I think blinds, like I have a blind right here. I use it for photo shoots. Like in my background, I have a sheet. So I could put this up over my window so that there's no light coming in. He has a blind right there. That's a blind in his bag. And there's a box with probably more evidence that's contaminated that I would say has Rob and Michelle's blood in it. And he's carrying a bag and he's wearing gloves and he's not speaking to reporters. Why? Because he's guilty of something. And this security organization is escorting Rocco and Missy with evidence leaving the scene of the crime. They're taking stuff out of the residence of Rob and Michelle Reiner.
Sorry for your loss.
Sorry for your loss. He doesn't even answer. And he's got this black hoodie again. It's weird, right? And he's got gloves on. Why do you need gloves unless you're worried about leaving your fingerprints all over the scene of the crime? Unless you dusted your fingerprints. Maybe you're the one that actually murdered Rob and Michelle. Maybe you're the one that the LAPD should be looking for, not Nick. You kind of look like Nick as well, if I'm being honest. And you're wearing a hoodie. Nick was presumed to wear a hoodie on Sunday night, a dark black hoodie. This guy has a dark black hoodie, and he has gloves on, and he has a bag which has blinds in it. That is a cloth type material in the bag. And I don't know why there's a box beside it, but there's something in that box as well. I would have opened that stuff up and said, why do you need to take this blind out of Rob's home? Why do you have a blind here? Where are you going? I'd follow them all the way to the hotel. So again, remember, this guy looks like Nick.
How long were you an assistant?
Won't even answer the question. So this reporter's saying, how long, and I think this is from Framework Media, how long have you been his assistant? Because nobody knows about this guy. He's trying his hardest to get back to his car with this evidence. I bet you that evidence feels like it's 1,000 pounds. He doesn't even look at the camera. He's like, man, oh man. Like, he has this, I don't know what kind of a case this is, this bag. It's like a leather bag or something. I don't know what it says on the side. It's like some brand. He's got sweats. He's got white shoes. He's got a black hoodie. He's got gloves on. This gloves is ringing alarm bells to me because that tells me he's got contaminated, or he's contaminating the evidence, or he doesn't want to contaminate the evidence, but he's taking items out of the residence of Rob and Michelle. There's no dispute here, folks. This guy is suspect number one.
Just be careful of the car, guys.
Yeah, no worries. How are you holding up, Rocco?
Again, this security detail company is like just clearly they work with Rocco.
You guys doing okay? The family okay?
Not saying anything. Why? Because this could be submitted into evidence. Again, there's Missy carrying more evidence from the crime scene, and she has gloves on. suspect. All right. And this is just footage of the paparazzi the day of. I should say they're waiting for the latest press conference from the LAPD. This is December 15th. So this is the day before we see Rocco show up at the home. So these guys are here. I'll just let it play. If you don't think this is a big deal, you're kidding yourself. Every news outlet was there, and it's so quiet right now. So hush hush. But this is leading up to the LAPD press conference that said they arrested Nick Monday night. So they gather early all day outside of the Reiner's home to prepare for any news about who murdered Rob and Michelle. And at night, at about 9:30 at night, the police finally said, we have Nick in custody. We arrested Nick. Look at the paparazzi here. Look at them. Yeah, you got it.
Mental health.
So they're going with the mental. I don't know what she said here. What did she say?
Mental health.
So they're already trying to build up a narrative of something. I don't know what she said. Mental powers.
Mental health.
All right, that's a lot. A lot for now. So basically it just goes on and on showing all the media. It's a big deal, folks. This is a big deal. So I know I've jumped to the conclusion. I know I've jumped to the idea that Rocco quite possibly framed Nick. I know I jumped to the conclusion that perhaps Rocco was the one that did it, because nobody knows about this guy, and he's wearing black gloves at a crime scene, and he's taking things away from the crime scene. And I noticed a black curtain. Why? Probably cover up the blinds or cover up the windows so that you can start tampering with the Nick Reiner's hotel. Remember, Nick was in custody. So in our next episode, we're going to be diving into the security company, and you're going to be shocked to know that this security company is an expert at hotel security. That's right. They're an expert at residential security. Apparently not very good, but they're an expert at that. And then also they are an expert at securing hotel premises, hotel facilities. They're pros at it. So we're going to be looking up this company again. Remember, it's 4 Lions. So if you know anything about this company, let me know in the comments as well. Send me an email. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Email me if you have any more leads in regards to the Pierside Hotel, in regards to the 4 Lions, in regards to Rocco. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate you guys a lot. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Click on all the notifications. That way, anytime I upload a new video, you will be notified. And again, share this video. And go to my post section where I post polls. Do you think Nick is innocent? Do you think Nick is guilty? And all these other questions. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me for the last hour. I'll see you in another video.